If you think of a time before time, what this place might have looked like before there was a school, before there was roads, before there was any buildings, your homes. It was a beautiful natural setting. There was a huge abundance. We never had to ask for anything. But then I'm a tribal councilwoman of the Coastal Noan Rumsen Carmel tribe, and I'm Rumsen speaking Ohlone. We come from a displaced tribe in Southern California, but we know that our ancestry belongs to the Bay Area, and in particular the Monterey County area. For our tribe, it's always been about unity and bringing other tribes together to support one another so that we can fight bigger issues out there, like, the fact that we're still here, our existence and our resilience. And so we've always been like a bridge of working with others.
How many Native people, when you think about rangers, work in national parks? Do you think there's very many? No, huh? There's less than 3% in the whole United States of indigenous people who live and work in their own ancestral homeland that speak about their Aboriginal people in those places. And I was one of those people. I was one of that little percent that was there.
Ohlone Song is a program that gives our students an opportunity to interact with music in order for them to really learn about the deep, rich cultural history that California has.
We take a look at the varied musical contributions of cultures up and down the state and zoom in on them by bringing teaching artists in to show song traditions. The module on the Ohlone Song focuses on indigenous song practice. It's really important to acknowledge and amplify the voices of people who are from that culture, who are still here, and have these traditions that are important to pass on.
When we got involved with Golden State of Song, it was a big opportunity to give us a voice in music classrooms, to teachers and to students. Growing up, people didn't know who Ohlone people were. We didn't exist. We were erased, and we were just talked about in past tense. And I want people to talk about us in present tense.
There was actually 2 songs about the fog. One was to call it in, and one was to tell it to go away. Oh no kuewena, oh no kuewela, eya que salala, eya que salala, oh no kuewena.
The kids are really excited to engage with this. They're hungry for this cultural enrichment. If you're engaging with somebody who has that cultural history, that's not just the anthropological view of what's going on or the history of Ohlone people. Like, they'll have these personal connections. Like, my grandfather was this person in our tribe, and this was our, homeland. This is what this village was called before it was called Point Lobos. I mean, in that, by itself, you're making community.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, hey, oh yeah, yeah, hey, yo. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, hey, oh yeah, yeah, hey, yo.
Our songs is our connection to the world around us. They're not about, asking for something, but giving appreciation of the things that we have.
It's a good question.
The kids, they're always curious to know, well, how did you keep your songs? And so it becomes our job in those classroom settings to talk about, the waves of genocides that happened here, that maybe it was tough for us to keep our culture, and how do you give that to children, right? And so we try to marry the two and make it relatable. When you think about us as a society, we were the first biodegradable society. We were able to live in harmony with our environment for hundreds of thousands of years. And now within this short period of time, we changed all of that. And so the other message that we bring is that respect for our environment and that responsibility that we have to the environment.
I think that it enlightens students when we tell them, you are the future, you are gonna be the next doctors, lawyers, you're gonna be the next naturalists and botanists. I think when children know that they hold that kind of responsibility, I think that it makes that light bulb go off, I can make a difference, and I think that's what keeps them engaged and wanting to know more, I could really help somebody.
The government is deciding to put a big, huge pipeline through the United States, and they're bringing these encampments of men to come and build this. And what's happening is they're taking the women out of the reservations, And no one's asking where these missing and murdered Indigenous women are going. They're just disappearing. So right now I want to do this song with all of you, and the way that you're going to participate is you're going to raise your fist in the air for me. So if you can all raise your fist in the air, and I want you to think about all the women that are in your life, your mother, your grandmother, your sisters, your niece, your best friend. And as we sing this song, I want you to pray for their protection and pray for all those that are no longer going to see their family anymore.
We need more people who are using art for good to speak up for people who may not have a voice to do so. I hope that this is a gateway for students who may hear something that they connect with, or may hear something that really makes them curious, and then they go out to learn more about it, or be some of the change makers. All the work that we're continuing to do at schools is really helping to create human beings that are more aware, that are more empathetic, that are more just connected to understanding who we are.
We are all equipped very uniquely. We all have strengths and we all have weaknesses, but in a group and in a community, we can all balance each other to make a difference. I think that that's important to let children know, that a lot of times you might not feel like you fit in, but you were blessed with your own uniqueness and the world needs that. So if you're an artist, draw more. If you're a writer, write more. If you're a singer, sing. And if you are a politician, well then make policies that are just and fair. And all of those combined will make a beautiful world that we can all live in and that we can all prosper in.